Hey folks, Amanda here. Just a quick heads up that from time to time, the Survivor's Guide to Thriving podcast does include some adult language. So if you've got kids with you, you may just want to hold on to this episode to listen to a little later. Enjoy! Hello, and welcome to this episode of the Survivor's Guide to Thriving podcast. I'm Amanda Solman, and along with Mark Jewell, your host for this show and the creator of the Surviving to Thriving movement. Each week, we'll dive into the mindsets that keep us in survival mode and learn how to get on the path to a truly thriving life. If you're looking for a wake-up call and want some valuable tools to get there, you have come to the right place. After all, survival is dead. It's your time to thrive today. Now, let's head over to the show.
My friends, welcome to another episode of the Survivor's Guide to Thriving podcast. I'm your guide on this journey from surviving to thriving in any behavior in life. Mark Jewell, founder of the Surviving to Thriving movement, and I am super grateful to have you joining us in today. So what do you do? What do you do when you get insecure? What does that mean? How do you react? Where do you go with that? Where do you go with that feeling of insecurity, that pit that you get in your stomach, that feeling of doubt, that cloud that hangs over you when you get insecure? Where do you go with that? What do you do? How do you react? My friends, that's what we're going to be talking about here today. You're going to hear some background noise because I happen to be on my way to speak at an event in Wisconsin, flew into Minneapolis this morning, and I am just on my way, driving finally to get to the speaking event. And I just had to put the recorder on because throughout the day today, I experienced a number of things that caused me, yes, your guide, caused me, of all people, to have some insecurities. I was experiencing insecurity this morning early on because I double booked a meeting with my flight by accident, and I had to miss that meeting. That left me exposed with somebody who is financially very important to our company, and it caused me to let that person down. That's a big trigger for me when I let people down. It also exposed some work that I needed to get done on my part or that I hadn't done on time in the past. Yes, I do that. I'm actually quite famous for it. And that caused me to feel insecure because I got called to the rug for the things that I wasn't getting done. Later in the day, I get to my meeting in Minnesota. I go into the meeting, and as they're setting up my computer to give the presentation, what happened is the director of human resources pulled me outside, and they said, "We heard about this blog post that you're planning to create." And one of our people was very upset by it because the title of the blog post is "Why All Baby Boomers Should Retire Effective Immediately." He had no context with the article, but he saw a picture of my creating this article while I was on a flight the other night, and I put it on Snapchat. And so that was the context. The only context he had was the title of the article, which tells me the article is going to work. However, this caused me a little bit more insecurity for a moment because my client, the director of human resources, was feeling that she was a little inadequate because I had ruffled some feathers with one of the members of her team and caused some undue stress. So there's a little bit of background behind why this whole theme of insecurity is driving this particular recording of the podcast. But my friends, let me just say, I know I get it. Okay, I get that you feel insecure sometimes. You feel not enough sometimes. You feel like others don't value you, right? And that can cause some feelings of insecurity. You feel like you don't value yourself sometimes, and that causes a different kind of insecurity. So as I was reflecting on the day, it's into the evening hours now, I'm on the road, thinking about what was going on, what was driving my insecurity all day, because I'll be honest, I was having these feelings and these thoughts around how I wasn't enough. I wasn't enough. I wasn't good enough, right? I wasn't worthy enough to run the company, to do the things that I'm doing. So it caused me to reflect. There are a few things going on for me right now that are new. Number one is we just bought this new house. Last night I slept in a bed for the first time in 3 weeks on a night at home because we've been getting our bedrooms set up, floors sanded, walls repainted, refurbished, etc. And so my routine back home has been off. And that's a big thing for me. I thrive on having routine, relatively getting up the same time every day, going down the same time every day, doing some of the same things during the day with some variety, of course. So that's a thing that has been making me feel a little bit behind because there are some things undone at home as far as our remodel goes. Have been some things that needed to get done in my business, proposals written, an offer letter to a new employee, follow-up for specific customers, other pieces because our growth has been so fast and my workload has been so steep and I have been off my routine from what's going on at home. So that caused me to have more things that were undone. Now on top of that, I let down someone because we didn't stay on top of my calendar, good enough. I didn't communicate expectations adequately, and we let somebody down as a result. So it got me to reflecting, what are the reasons that I get insecure? And as I thought about all of them, and I've given you the stories behind most of them so far, it boils down to two things. Number one, you have some things that are not done. And number two, you let somebody down or you have disappointed somebody for some reason. These are two primary ways, okay, that you get called to the rug, that you feel insecure. And when it boils down to it, it's kind of the point when we get caught, isn't it? When we realize we either catch ourselves or somebody else catches us in the act of doing something that we feel really insecure. Well, what's going on there? What's going on there is that you let somebody down because they had high expectations for you. They've had higher expectations for you than other people. And so when you get exposed because you didn't do something the right way, or you didn't follow through, or you didn't have that thing done, and that caused anguish or pain or anxiety for that person, it really exposes you and you feel like you let them down, right? So basically, letting people down and having things undone. Okay. So what do we do about these things? Well, I'll be honest. I wish I could give you some fancy tool or method or whatever it is to make this easier for you to get through. But the reality is, it all boils down to, did you do the work? Are you being proactive in your business? Are you being proactive in your daily routine? Are you being proactive in your life to get the things done on time at a level that is your standard of greatness? Did you do the things to get them done on time in an amazing way in order to take care of your customers, in order to take care of your spouse, in order to take care of your kids, in order to take care of yourself? Have you done these things? Yes or no? It is a very simple black and white answer. You either did or you didn't. If you didn't and you let somebody down, or you have these things hanging over your head, those are not things that happen to you, my friend. Those are freaking results. Those are results. My results today were that I got to experience anxiety, fear, insecurity in my life because I didn't do the fucking work. I didn't get my stuff done on time. I didn't take care of my routine. I didn't protect myself by doing my ritual the right way on a daily basis. And The result was insecurity. I let people down and I had things undone. So that's what I have for you today, my friends. Are you experiencing insecurity? Then the thing driving it is more than likely that thing that you need to get done, or those things that you need to take care of, or that person who you let down, and that's something you can't take back. That's something that you didn't follow through on for yourself or for others, and the only way to get better at that, to fix that, is to take action and do better next time. My friends, this is new news to some of you. It may make logical sense to many of you, but all of us will struggle with this from time to time. Because I know that all of us, no matter how powerful we are, no matter how badass and effective, all of us will suffer from some level of insecurity. Either the fear of letting somebody down or having things undone hanging over your head. The only antidote to this is through driving effort. Do the proactive thing. Do the work. Hold yourself accountable or get accountability to getting the work done. Being prepared on time. Being done on time. I used to tell my friends, some family members who struggle in school, it's harder to fail a class in high school or college than it is to just do the work and at least get through it. And the reason I would say that is because not only do you have the not getting done of things and the feedback from your teachers, but you have this feeling of something hanging over your head. That is an insecurity, my friend, and it's just no fun. So on the way to go from surviving to thriving in life, you're going to have these things. You're going to have insecurities. It shows up as suffering in your life, and it's there to show you that you're actually not surviving. You're in suffering, which is one step closer to thriving than you were before. So now that you know it, now you know when you feel insecurity, figure out what is undone, who did you let down, apologize, move forward, do the work, get it done, and thrive today.
Thanks for tuning in to the Survivor's Guide to Thriving podcast. You can find the show notes and links to all the resources mentioned in this episode by heading over to markjeweltraining.com/podcast. And if you feel so inclined, we'd love it if you could head over to iTunes and leave us a rating and review. That's what helps us move up in the charts so that more people can find us and start their surviving to thriving journey. See you next week.